Good afternoon sa tanan natong mga viewers sa Mang People's TV o sa tanan natong mga ka-people. To our CEO, Mr. Brian Yap, my deepest condolences to your bereaved family. May she rest in peace. But before let us proceed, let us pause for a moment of silence for her eternal repose. Amen. To our chairperson of the board, Mr. Manolito Ardemir, and to all board directors, sa mga ka-people nato sa ubang branches throughout Cebu province, and of course, our co-op ambassador, Sir Jacob. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. It's Friday again, and I welcome you all to our show, The Doctor is In, version 2. Okay? Mga ka-people, our pandemic here in Cebu City and Cebu Province is declining already. Hopefully, nga dili na ni mobalik pag-surge ang atong pandemic, ang atong cases diri sa Cebu as well as sa Cebu Province, mobalik na sadta sa atong face-to-face consultation. As we know, for the past month, nagsigir ta og teleconsultation. But karon, since ang pandemic, ang atong cases diri sa Cebu and Cebu Province, nagka-decrease na, bubisita na sad ko sa different branches sa atong Cebu People's Multipurpose Cooperative. So, mag-schedule na ko for my face-to-face visit sa Naga, Bugo, Karkar, Barili, Liluan, and Balamban. As what I have said sa miaging mga months nga mobalik na gyapon ko dinhi for our face-to-face consultation because naapod tay mga ka-people nato, members sa atong cooperative nga walay access sa teleconsultation. So mauna nga hinaot pod nga kung moadto nako sa inyong mga branches naatay mga members nga magpakonsulta face to face. Mas nindot man gyud ang face to face kay makakita gyud ka sa pasyente ug makakita sad ka nako giunsa ti ka pag manage or pag treat. So mauna siya nga importante ang face-to-face consultation. So, karong panahon hopefully, nga magpadayo na ta, nga dili na ta mag-decline na ang atong kaso sa COVID-19, hopefully, magpadayo na ni siya o naa na tay gitawag og new normal. Kini new normal, padayon ta nga mag-face mask, physical distancing, hand washing, sige, para mapadayon yun nato nga luwas ta ani pandemya. Okay, so before we would proceed, let us first have our commercial break.
Sa modernong kolaborasyon ng People's Co-op at GCash, mabilis at madali na lamang ang pagbayad gamit ang inyong mga cellphone. Maaari din kayong makapagbayad sa mga partnered billers. Ito ay isang magandang inisyatibo ng Cebu People's Multipurpose Cooperative upang bigyan ang mga miyembro ng mas kanais-nais pang mga opsyon sa pag-asikaso ng kani-kanilang mga individual na transaksyon. Magiging one-stop app ito para makapagbayad sa annual dues, membership fee para sa mga bagong miyembro at makapagdeposito sa inyong savings account. Siguradong makakapagbayad sa tamang oras sa kabila ng abalang schedule. Madali nang mamonitor ang inyong mga finances. Mapoproseso mo na ang inyong mga transaksyon anumang oras at kahit saan ka man. Upang maisagawa ang inyong transaksyon, pumunta sa inyong GCash app. Mula sa GCash dashboard, itap ang Pay Bills. Pindutin ang Loans. Pagkatapos, hanapin ang People's Co-op at i-click ito. Punan ang halagang babayaran at mga detalye ng account at i-confirm. Maghintay para sa kumpirmasyon ng iyong transaksyon. Para sa mga issue at karagdagang detalye, maaaring bisitahin ang aming website sa www.opsstructivepuls.com mycoop.ph.
Okay, welcome back to our The Doctor is In. Our topic for today is about COPD or sa gitawag nato og chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Okay, kani siya nga disease is very much preventable and treatable. So dili ta mahadlok ani nga maka COPD ta. Although kinahanglan sa ta nga magmatno sa atong kaugalingon para dili sad ta magka COPD. So, as I've said, kani nga sakit preventable and treatable nga lung disease which affects men and women worldwide. Dili lang sa Pilipinas kundi sa tibuok kalibutan kini nga COPD affects both men and women. Now, there is limitation kani nga COPD na siya limitation sa paghinga. Okay? So, naay abnormality sa atong airway o sa atong tubo, sa atong baga nga maglisod ta og ginhawa. Okay? So, mura ni siya og hose sa agianan sa tubig nga kung sikip kaayo maglisod og gawas ang tubig. So, kung sikip kaayo ang atong tubo paingon sa atong baga, muna maglisod ta og ginhawa. Okay, mao na siya nga analogy between our airways o kanang hose. Okay. Okay. Ang kaning atong airway kung maglisod ta og ginhawa, it might be due to blocking of mga mucus nga murag sa atong pang mga plema, sa atong lawas, sa atong agianan sa tubo, mauna nga it would block the airway. And sometimes it may cause inflammation or swelling of the airway. Mauna nga ang hangin nga mosulod sa atong baga hinay na kaayo o gamay na kaayo because ni swell man, ni hubag og ang agianan sa tubo. So sometimes kaning COPD is also called emphysema or chronic bronchitis. So mao ni sila duha, emphysema or chronic bronchitis. Okay. Ang difference ng emphysema is may distraction na tinatawag nating air sac or loob ng lungs. Whereas ang chronic bronchitis, it refers to a chronic cough with production of phlegm. So, mura ka og siging giubo. Unya, kada ubo nimo naagunay plema or plema which would result to inflammation sa imong agianan or sa airway or sa tubo or pamamaga sa labasan ng hangin o tubo. Okay, although it sounds technical minsan ang COPD, but ang alam natin usually is yung tinatawag natin na bronchial asthma. Although yung bronchial asthma, yung tinatawag nating hika o hubak sa Cebuano is different. COPD and asthma, although same yung symptoms like cough, ubo, or wheeze, yung marinig mo nga minsan sa loob ng katawan mo or difficulty of breathing. And people may have both conditions, so ang asthma and ang COPD ay pareho ang simptomas. Yan ang COPD at yung asthma. Okay? Now, ano yung mga simptomas ng COPD? Next slide. Now, ang simptomas ng COPD includes frequent coughing or wheezing, excessive phlegm or mucus or sputum production, sometimes shortness of breath or trouble taking a deep breath. Now, symptoms of COPD would develop from midlife towards yung adulthood or old age group. And usually, they experience breathlessness. Parang yung paghinga nila is very short or difficulty of breathing. Then, mag-develop sila ng tinatawag natin na chronic cough. Bakit chronic? Because it will take a lifetime yung cough nila. Hindi yung cough natin ngayon na good for 1 week or 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. But yung cough sa COPD is chronic. Matagalan itong cough nila. No. Often with phlegm. Ibig sabihin, yung cough nila may plema. Minsan, yung cough natin is due to allergy, walang plema. Pero kung cough nila is due to COPD, minsan nagka-plema sila or often may plema. And of course, tiredness. Okay, bakit sila become tired almost every day? Because of the continuous coughing or difficulty of breathing. Now, then if the condition would worsen, their daily activities may also be affected. Kaya yung ibang may COPD, palaging absent, o hindi na gusto magtrabaho, o kung wala kang trabaho, palagi ka lang nasa bahay, nakahiga, because they feel tired. Na-lessen ang kanilang daily activities. And this would really affect the impact of their daily life. Okay. It is also a financial burden. Why? Kasi hindi to dapat bumili ka ng gamot para matulungan yung pagsalunas ng COPD. So that's why it is also a financial burden on the patient kasi in and out kayo sa hospital, especially if your condition has worsened. Then, limitation of work and home productivity. Ganon ka malala ang COPD if you will not be treated. Okay. If you could be treated, then of course your finances as well as your daily activities will not be affected. Pwede ka nang magtrabaho, hindi ka na palagi nag-absent because you know how to treat yourself. Because as I've said, this is a chronic condition. It would be triggered by something that can cause you to be admitted again sa hospital. So, ayun. So, what are the causes of this COPD? Okay. So, number 1, tobacco exposure. Number 2, occupational exposure. Number 3, indoor or air pollution. Number 4, early life event. And number 5, asthma in childhood. Okay. So, number 1, tobacco exposure. Okay. Ang pagpanigarilyo from active smoking or passive exposure to secondhand smoke, yan ang number 1 cause. So, hindi lang na kayo ang nagsisigarilyo. Minsan, yung asawa mo nagka-COPD dahil yung asawa mo ay nanigarilyo. That is second-hand smoke. Okay, meaning to say na even though you are not a smoker, but your husband or your wife is a smoker, then that would lead to COPD. Kaya importante na walang magsigarilyo sa buong family para walang exposure kayo. Walang second-hand exposure or passive exposure. Ganon ang ibig sabihin ng tobacco exposure. Kaya kung ang isang tao nagka-COPD, tatanungin yun sa doktor, possible cause ng COPD is tobacco exposure. Magtatanong ang doktor kung maninigarilyo ka ba because that is the number 1 cause. So, kung maninigarilyo ka, then dapat kayo maghinto. You have to quit smoking. At yung pag-quit ng smoking, hindi yun step by step. Ang importante is you must have a quit date. Ano yung quit date? Ibig sabihin ng quit date. Maglagay ka ng isang date sa iyo, for example, birthday mo ba, Christmas or New Year or yung date ng anniversary mo, dapat doon ilagay mo ang yung quit date para hindi mo malilimutan. Hindi pwede na bukas mag-quit ka. Walang mangyari sa cessation sa smoking mo. Ang importante, you must have a date when you will stop smoking. Because prior to that date, ipaalam mo sa family mo, ipaalam mo sa kaibigan mo, sa work mo, sa colleague mo, at lalo na sa mga stores o sari-sari store na doon ka bumili ng sigarilyo na by December 24, hindi na ako maninigarilyo. Yan ang dapat mong gawin. Ipaalam mo sa mga kaibigan mo at lahat ng mga things na related to smoking, dapat itapon mo na. For example, ashtray. Itapon mo na yung ashtray sa lamesa mo. Itapon yung ashtray sa working table mo para it would not remind you to smoke again. Yung lighter, itapon mo yan if that is a cause na you could remember to smoke again. So that is number one, tobacco exposure. As I've said, meron tayong tinatawag na passive exposure. So itong passive exposure, you are not the smoker. Pero yung asawa mo ang smoker. So yung nilanghap ni mo na the smoke, that can also cause COPD. Yan. So that's why na sa isang working area, dapat walang mag-smoke para walang passive smoking. Because if somebody is smoking in one area, almost all of you can be considered as, or all of you can be considered as passive smoker. Okay. So, ang paninigarilyo from active smoking or passive smoker to secondhand smoke. Okay, number 2 is occupational exposure. Okay, occupational exposure to dust, fumes, or chemicals. Okay, so ibig sabihin yon is kung nagtatrabaho ka sa isang industrial company, then you are exposed to different chemicals or different or dust or fumes, then that would also lead to COPD. Kaya if you have COPD and then you still want to work, dapat hindi ka magtatrabaho sa isang industry na you might be exposed to chemicals or fumes or dust because that would trigger you to develop COPD. So maghanap ka ng trabaho na walang exposure to any type of chemicals. Okay. Indoor air pollution. Okay. Ibig sabihin yon is sa loob ng bahay mo. For example, like wood. Okay. Sa kitchen, gumagamit ka ng wood. Oh, so minsan that would trigger your COPD. Or animals, yung mga animal dungs, yung sa ating mga cats, sa atong pet, minsan that would lead to COPD because it would trigger you to develop COPD. Okay? Mga residue, crop residue or coal na ginagamit natin sa bahay. So that can also be a cause of COPD. Oh, that is an indoor air pollution. Okay. So sa bahay natin minsan, mga kahoy ang ginagamit natin kung magsaing o pagluluto, kahit during pregnancy, sa pagbubuntis. Okay? Poor growth in uterus. Okay, early life event yun. Poor growth in the uterus sa ating baby. So nasa sinapupunan or prematurity, that can also lead to COPD and frequent or severe respiratory infection in childhood. Kung yung anak mo palaging sinisipon, palaging iniubo, then you have to treat your children para it would not develop to a more severe cases of respiratory illness. Kaya yung mga magulang natin, kung meron pa tayong mga maliliit na mga anak, dapat alagaan natin ng mabuti para wala silang sakit. And the only way to prevent any type of childhood illnesses is ang pagpabakuna. Okay, we have this childhood immunization. Meron itong programa sa Department of Health para sa ating mga bata in order to prevent this particular childhood diseases. So, kaya pag silang ng ating mga sanggol, meron na tayong bakuna. So, we have to avail all these preventable immunization to prevent these diseases para it will protect us and your family. Because kung hindi natin bigyan ng mga preventive measures, immunization, that would lead to in and out of the hospital or in and out of the clinic because yung mga bata natin or mga sanggol ay walang proteksyon. Okay. So, importante yon na dapat may protection tayo. Okay. Now, next, anong mga treatment? Okay. So, yung treatment natin, importante din yon sa ating mga COPD. But bago tayo tungkol sa talk about treatment, let us first have a commercial break.
Dahil bakunado ka, aba panalo yan! Sali na sa Bakunado Panalo Raffle. 3 million worth of cash prizes ang ipamimigay. Basta't bakunado ng COVID-19 vaccine, may chance kang manalo ng 1 million pesos sa grand draw at isa sa 100 winners sa monthly draw. How to join Bakunado Panalo? Step 1. Register for free. Text PRESBACUNAREG, space name, /age, /address at isend sa 8933. Step 2. I-text ang vaccine details. Text RESBACUNA, space, first letter ng vaccine brand, /pangilang dose, /LGU, /petsa ng bakuna, at isend sa 8933. Piso lang kada send. Kung partially vaccinated ka o nakatanggap ka ng unang dose, meron ka ng 1 raffle entry. Kung fully vaccinated o nakatanggap ka na ng 2 dose, additional 2 raffle entries for a total of 3 raffle entries na agad para sa'yo. Para sa bakuna na isang dose lang gaya ng Johnson & Johnson's Janssen, don't worry, 3 raffle entries agad ang makukuha. Para naman sa ating mga senior citizen, double the number of entries ang makukuha nyo. Kung partially vaccinated, may 2 raffle entries ka. Kung fully vaccinated naman, makakakuha ka ng 6 na raffle entries. 3 monthly draws at isang grand draw worth 1 million pesos ang naghihintay sa December 2021. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Sali na! Sa RESBACUNA, protektado ka na, panalo pa! Bakunado Panalo Raffle. Para sa iyo ito. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, pumunta sa aming website.
Okay, kung meron tayong wherein we have the chance to win 1 million peso, dito sa Bakunado Panalo, meron din tayong chance to win 1 million peso as long as bakunado tayo. So, you have the chances of winning 1 million sa Play to Save natin at sa Bakunado Panalo. So, starting October, November, and December, there are raffle draws. However, by December, yun ang grand draw wherein you can win 1 million peso as long as you are vaccinated or immunized. So, dapat lang you have to follow pag paano tayo maka-have an entry with regards to Bakunado Panalo. You have only to register your name, your age, your address, and then kung ano ang ginagamit mo na bakuna as well as ano ilang doses na kayo. First dose or second dose or complete na yung doses. So, grab the chance to win 1 million, Play to Save as well as Bakunado Panalo. Okay, going back to our discussion with regards to COPD. Okay, anong mga actions in order to improve the overall health and help control the COPD? So, dapat kailangan tayo na magpa-treat. Dapat tayo we have to call our doctor through teleconsultation. Kung hindi pa tayo makapunta through face-to-face, then we have to call our doctor. So, treatment of COPD or to reduce the burden of COPD. Minsan, hindi naman ito mawawala. That at least, it would reduce the burden sa ating COPD. Alam natin that there is no cure for COPD, but early diagnosis and treatment would lessen the progress of the symptoms. So, sabi nila, wala nang lunas itong COPD. Pag may COPD ka, hanggang mamatay ka by COPD ka. However, that can be treated or prevented in order to progress or lessen the progress of the symptoms. So, dapat tayo magpakonsulta o tatawag through teleconsultation. Okay. Alam natin that we have our teleconsultation. Pwede kayong tatawag sa akin through my number 0963-692-6762. Yan ang aking number. Tatawag kayo sa number ko, then we will talk, and then of course, I will advise you na dapat meron kayong Facebook account para may doon ako magbigay ng prescription sa iyong messenger. So, through this teleconsultation, we can improve or lessen the burden of COPD. Okay. Although minsan, kailangan tayo na magpakita ng doktor. Why? Especially if your COPD is nag-worsen na ang condition. Why? Because we have to check you, we have to examine you personally. Meron tayong tinatawag na test para to test the severity of your COPD. This is just a simple na breathing test which we call it spirometry. So this test, it would measure you how the lungs are working. Mag-blow ka lang ng parang isang tube, you will blow, and then the doctor will now analyze kung how functioning is your lungs. Okay. Doctors usually prescribe mga inhalers. Okay, sabi na, mahal ang inhalers. Mas lalong mahal kung hindi ka magpagamot kasi pabalik-balik ka sa hospital. So, mas mabuti lang kung anong i-prescribe ng doktor, kahit minsan mahal, dapat bilhin mo because it can prevent you from hospitalization kung meron kang maintenance medication. Okay, ito ang mga tinatawag natin mga inhalers, okay, or inhaled medication. Now, these inhalers would reduce the symptoms. It opens the airway and it would relieve the symptoms. Kaya, pag ginagamit mo ito, like for example, mga inhalers, alam natin sa asthma, minsan yung doktor magbigay ng mga salbutamol inhalers. So once you inhale that is a medication that would open or widen yung tubo na paghinga mo. So kaya the airways, katulad din sa COPD, if you will inhale through these inhalers, ito ay isang medication that would also opens the airway and it would relieve the symptoms, na especially difficulty of breathing. Yeah. Minsan yung mga inhalers natin mahal. So at least if you can have one, it would lessen almost half of your financial burdens if hindi ka magpa-hospital. Okay. Kasi kung hindi ka bumili ng mga inhalers and then mag-ano ka na lang, prevention, walang treatment, then minsan pabalik-balik ka sa hospital. Okay. Now, aside from treatment, may tinatawag natin na self-care. So, ganun. You have to know, you have to identify kung anong mga that triggers you to develop the attack yung COPD. So, alam mo na exposed ka to cigarette, smoking. So, dapat magpalayo ka sa isang tao na nanigarilyo para it will not trigger you sa yung COPD. Okay. And then, you have to stay active and healthy as possible all the time para mabigyan ka ng lunas sa ating COPD. Now, as I've said, ito ang prevention to improve the overall health and control the COPD. Stop smoking, take regular exercise, and get vaccinated against pneumonia, influenza, and coronavirus. Hindi lang isa, kundi 3 bakuna ang dapat kailangan natin, especially if you are adult or bakuna pneumonia, and coronavirus. Okay. So, prevention can be achieved through several actions that improve the overall health of an individual. So, as I've said, kung smoker ka, you have to stop smoking. Kung hindi ka smoker, and then you have COPD, dapat magpalayo ka sa isang tao na nanigarilyo. Because that smoke alone can trigger your COPD. If you are working in a industrial company, well, mag-isip ka kung mag-resign ka ba o mag-continue to work. If you want to continue to work, dapat you are far from those fumes or chemicals or any solution that will trigger your COPD. Okay. Then, regular exercise, dapat hindi ka matamlay. You have to exercise daily at least 30 minutes para your life will continue. Hindi ibig sabihin na dahil may sakit ka, hindi ka na mag-exercise, baka it will trigger your illness. Hindi yun tama. Dapat, kung even if you are an asthmatic, if you develop COPD, may bronchitis ka or emphysema, dapat you must continue to have a regular exercise. Okay. Then, as I've said, yung mga bakuna, importante yun. So, coronavirus, the number one, you have to be vaccinated. Hindi pwede na hindi tayo magpabakuna. Do not listen to those mga fake news, lalo na sa ating mga social media. Dapat tayo magpabakuna. Di tayo we will not listen to those mga individuals na sinabi nila na maraming namamatay dahil sa COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, alam natin na kailangan yun sa atin. Especially yung mga middle age or mga old age group, yung mga senior citizen natin. And especially also yung mga tao na may comorbidity. Yung ibig sabihin ng comorbidity, yung mga tao na may sakit aside from, like for example, hypertension, diabetes, COPD, or heart ailments. Yan ang mga tinatawag nating comorbidity. So, dapat magpabakuna. Alam mo, based on statistics natin ngayon, those who died are those who are not vaccinated. Yan. It is not those who are vaccinated. Pero it does not mean also na pag bakunado ka na, hindi ka na magka-COVID-19. Mali din yun. Minsan, even if you are vaccinated with COVID-19, you may also develop COVID-19. Pero it will not lead to severe COVID-19 infection. Only mild COVID-19, which can be treated at home as long as you can be isolated. Or kung hindi tayo ma-isolate sa bahay natin, then magpatulong tayo sa ating barangay, because we have this barangay health emergency rescue team. Sila ang magtulong sa atin kung paano natin ma-prevent yung other members sa family na para magpa-COVID. So, kaya importante ang bakuna sa coronavirus, because we are still in pandemic and we know that we have to achieve a 70% immunity para sa ating sa COVID-19 infection. Okay. So, aside from COVID-19 vaccine, we have this influenza or flu vaccine. Importante din ito ang flu vaccine. Why? Because it would also prevent us from this seasonal flu. Kaya itong flu vaccine is given yearly. Kung nagpa-flu ka ngayon, you are protected from this ordinary flu. Hindi ito nag-protect sa iyo ng COVID-19. Iba ang influenza or flu vaccine as to COVID-19. So, dapat tayo magpabakuna also with flu vaccine. Kahit yung mga anak natin, 6 months and above, pwede na silang mabakunahan ng flu vaccine. Now, although, kung magpabakuna kayo ng any type of vaccine, dapat mayroong interval. Especially coronavirus, kung magpabakuna ka ng COVID-19 vaccine, and then magpabakuna ka ng influenza vaccine, dapat by 14 days yung gap. Para at least alam natin kung ano ang reaction sa both vaccine. Kasi if yung pagpabakuna mo sa flu at pagpabakuna mo sa COVID-19 ay smaller ang interval, then we do not know kung ano ang effect sa COVID-19 or sa flu vaccine. Kaya, dapat 14 days ang interval. Now, alam natin na once you get vaccinated, mayroon ding adverse effect. Okay. So, we will expect that all the time. Kung hindi ka nagka-adverse effect, then okay lang yon. It does not mean na hindi tumalab yung bakuna. Means, these mga adverse effect, yan ang tinatawag natin na fever, mild body malaise, or headache, or pain on the injection site. Dapat, we will expect that to happen if you be vaccinated. Hindi naman pwede na walang side effect. Meron ding side effect. Kaya, once you be vaccinated, you will be informed na minsan you develop fever. So, if you develop fever, mag-inom ka lang ng paracetamol para mawala yon. O minsan, hindi yun magka-fever ang isang individual. So, pwede yun. Now, another one is the pneumonia or pneumococcal vaccination. Especially sa mga elderly natin. 60 or 65 years above, dapat din kayo magpabakuna to prevent pneumonia. Okay. Kasi yung isa flu, itong isa pneumonia vaccine para hindi kayo magka-pneumonia. Okay. So, I advise you na kung pwede magpabakuna tayo sa pneumonia, influenza, and coronavirus if you are elderly or sa mga younger age group, kahit influenza and COVID-19, we will be protected almost 100%. Okay, but despite our immunization, as I've said, we still have to practice our minimum health standard protocol, especially for COVID-19, kay nag-pandemic patakaron. Okay? So, let us pause for a break.
Do you want to play without losing? Do you want to save money while playing? Worry no more! For 25 pesos worth of entry, you can now play and save money at the same time. But there's more! Not only you can enjoy and save money, but you also get a chance to win 1 million pesos or a brand new car. The choice is in your hands. Only here.
Sobra jud sir, 100% kada kung tabang sa People's Co-op na ako sir. Una sir, sa among negosyo, di ako nakakuha o nakautang og dako nga akong additional capital sa among negosyo. Ikaduha, na ako ko'y educational nga na akong giabil akong mga anak duha. Ang ikatulo, pinakakuan jud nako sir, grabe jud nga. Maayo nga gihatag sa People's Co-op nako is katong may People's Co-op card. Nga tulo jud nako ka anak sunod-sunod nga wala ko'y kahadlok nga akong pa-admit sa Mindiro tungod lang sa na ako'y People's Co-op card. Sa kung wala pa nagpa-member, ayaw jud mo pagdugay, grabe jud makatabang ang may People's Co-op. Daghan pa sila o mga benefits nga angay natong ma-avail kung member in good standing lang ka, sobra-sobra jud ang imong kaayuhan nga madawat sa People's Co-op.
Okay, so going back to the doctor is in. Now, let us reward ourselves, mga ka-people, lalo na dito sa ating province sa Cebu. The third wave has already ended. Cebu City, Lapu-Lapu, and Mandawi, and other cities here in Cebu province, kunti na lang ang ating cases sa COVID-19. So ang ibig sabihin, yung daily cases natin ay bumaba na in less than 100 or even less than 50 daily cases. Ngunit, let us still be mindful, baka tumaas na naman si COVID-19 virus. It is still here in Central Visayas. Umiikot lang siya. Yung mga ka-people natin sa Bohol, Siquijor, and Negros Oriental, parang bumibisita na naman si COVID sa inyo. So, practice minimum health standard protocol at dapat natin sundan. Nandito na tayo sa new normal. So, ibig sabihin, itong new normal, ito na ang ating gagawin even beyond this pandemic because we are still trying to go back to our normal way. Pero ang ating normal way is tinatawag na natin na new normal. So sa usapan natin ngayon, naway atin isa-isip at isa sa buhay at laging pakakaalagaan ang kalusugan dahil ito ang susi sa isang malusog na pamumuhay at mabungang buhay. Keep in mind always that good health is the most valuable thing to have in the present set up for a better future. Again, thank you very much for watching the episode of The Doctor is In version 2. This is Doc Samson. I can be your friend where you can lean on me when you are not strong. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Cebu city transport system is evolving faster today, evolving into something new. Modernized public transportation. Digital payment is gaining grounds, linking our daily lives with ease and convenience by Cebu People's Multi-Purpose Cooperative. In this time, when the entire country is affected by the pandemic, we from Cebu People's Co-op facilitated a stable and efficient way to transport our fellow Cebuanos from their point of origin to their destination within the metropolitan of Cebu. We link our passengers with seamless payment, providing complete solution to passengers and our other merchants. We continue to develop value-added services as to loyalty schemes, fare payment system, pickup and drop-off areas. Our People's Jeep, an MC3 car, is ready for the forefront of innovation, making it a part of every Cebuano's daily lifestyle and the most convenient ride of a lifetime. Cebu People's Jeep, preparing the Filipino future of mass transport innovation.